These are employees who are essentially checked out. Just as how some of you will check out from the hotel in just a while. Bye, I'm gone back to my country. They are sleepwalking through the workday. They could not care if Monday fell on a Wednesday, they would not know the difference. They are the ones who they would apply for every available sick leave that they could find. They are the ones that if you want a good reason why something cannot be done, they will give you it. They are the ones who would complain about the job. As one lady I remember in one organization, she said the place is too cold so she can't work. She has to come with sweater. So one day the air condition broke down. She said it's too hot, I can't work, I have to go home. That was a not engaged person. And then you have the actively disengaged. These are people who have retired. They have not gone home as yet. They are unhappy on the job. They will complain about the job, and they have a problem with those who are dedicated, putting out all of that effort. You're trying to impress somebody or what? They are the ones who would sabotage the hard-working ones. They are unhappy, and they want everybody else around them to be unhappy. These people sometimes are the face of your organization that bring shame and disgrace to it. So how do you deal with it? Well, your staff determine the organizational culture of your company. You could say what you want about the organization. The staff is going to determine what the public is going to think, whether you are a humane company or not. So, ambitious people do not remain in an organization that does not provide them satisfaction. So you are sure if you hire somebody who has great potential and ambition, they will stay there, but they will soon leave. In fact, if they stay there, it demonstrates that they have no ambition. If they stay in an organization that is dysfunctional and is staffed with people who have no ambition to move forward. So, actively disengaged employees are quite happy to remain. They will complain. They'll always have a problem, but they will not hand in any resignation. So could you imagine how your organization will look if the ambitious people are ambitious enough to leave because they don't want to stay in a place that is not becoming functional, and the unambitious stay? You are developing a larger cadre of people who are disengaged, and whenever you bring in one or two people, you are overwhelmed and outnumbered by the disengaged. People leave people, not organizations. Because even if they leave, the organization is still going to run. But they leave because of people in it. So the human side, this is what you do. Reward engaged employees. Make sure that you always have a way of commending them and rating them and praising them. Because what you are doing is making sure that the engaged recognize how valuable they are and how appreciated they are. Never neglect to have awards at the end of the year, or when somebody has gone beyond the call of duty in the staff meeting, just to mention this person did this. After this event is over, those who have pulled together this massive event, are you going to get together and say to the people who really pulled it off, hey, you all did a great job? That's all they need. Money not necessarily it. They just want to be recognized. And then you have the not engaged. You try to motivate them. You train them. You develop them. Because they have potential. They may not have understood everything about the organization. So you have a chance to train them. And they actively disengage. Get rid of them. That is the humane thing to do. Spare them of their misery and send them home. went somewhere and the person was very, very hostile, and I said, "Miss, what do I need to do to just get a smile out of you? What is there to smile about? I have nothing to smile about." I said, "I'm so sorry that your employer forced you to come out of your bed, gave you a job. How wicked could they be and still pay you?" Send them home. That's the human side of financial services. Understanding how customers think is the third thing. How much time do I have? You people need to. Right. And if we have extra time, we might be able to take in some questions. Understanding how customers think and behave. Customers, let me tell you, human beings are creatures of emotion rather than logic. We think it's logic, but it has nothing to do with logic. It's emotion, according to Dale Carnegie in his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. He said, we believe that we are rational beings and our emotions influence most of our decisions. When people come in for loan, they are coming for a loan based on emotion, not necessarily because of logic. They want to buy a car. Why? Because they like a car. Many of them don't need a car because some of them live not too far from where they work. But it's about time I have a car. So it's an emotional decision. Some people are moving out from home, so they need a loan to buy furniture and so on. Your parents never rush you out from home. They never put you out of the home, but it's an emotional decision. I want to be able to live on my own. I want independence. And of course, I want my boyfriend to pass when he wants. Or my girlfriend to pass and check me. And mommy keeping her eye too much on me. So it's an emotional decision. Success in most aspects of life is therefore dependent upon our ability to balance that emotional and logical appeal. But you must know your customers. You must have the human side to be able to sit down and give financial advice to your customers. Yeah? And so, here's what you do. What this survey showed about the human side in financial. According to a 1970 study conducted by Carnegie Institute of Technology, 85% of financial success is a result of emotional intelligence. Not body intelligence, not moral intelligence. And of course, 15% is IQ, plain intelligence. 15% is IQ, which is logic. But you make 85% of your decisions based on emotion. Many of us got married based on you're afraid to say. It had nothing to do with common sense. When you watch him and you watch that lazy bum, you say, this could not have been common sense. So we make our major decisions based on that. So computers gather information, analyze, interpret data, and so on, and give us an emotional aspect of investment. And so probably credit union need to go into more research now and start hiring people to do data collection so that it will guide the credit union as they're dispensing of loans, etc. Some of you probably may have started that already, but probably we need to up the ante when it comes to that now. Financial advisors need to be in the credit union to be able to give us proper advice. And investment of managers, they must develop emotional intelligence to be able to determine whether a person is making an emotional decision and how to best guide them. Because what you want is to be able to create a trust component between you and the institution, you and the client, so that they would recognize, I can go to my loans officer and get good advice. So I would be able to, because it would also reduce your chances of default payment, because some people do not have the wherewithal to be able to buy some of the stuff that they're buying. So are you going to pay all of that expense and investment to deal with a customer to be able to have to deal with default payment, or you're just going to set them straight from up front. In fact, you may very well get more educational, logical borrowing if you help them through that process. In fact, instead of going and buy this car, you might be able to advise them, why not let's take a couple months, save up some money, and let's start paying down for a piece of land. Your loan portfolio is going to be larger, but they would now make probably a better decision in the end. So, around 14% of people that win the lottery go into bankruptcy within 5 years. Why? Because they made an emotional decision when they come to spending. You got more money, but your brain is still at the same level. So all you did is had more money to spread your little brain. That's all it happened. I know of a gentleman, he won the lotto, and he just came and just gave everybody in the staff $100, everybody $100. Those who didn't like him, didn't talk to him, $100. And then he bought a car. He already had a good car. He bought a car with the same number on it, and so on, and he just went spending. Well, he's passed away now, and the hire purchase people are calling. Why? Because he made emotional decisions with money he had. So most times it is not a result of market downturns and unforeseen personal disasters. It is lack of emotional intelligence that people have. So what is emotional intelligence? It is an understanding of the ability to discriminate between emotion and rational decision. It is your inner belief system when it comes to money. What does money mean to you? So for our young people, money means that I can now demonstrate more the circle that I'm spinning in. So brand name clothes, cars and jewelry and all of these things would help me to be able to define me. That's the inner message. For a man, money might mean power. So when I go up to the grocery, I don't even check to see how much it is, because I know I have money inside of my pocket. I'll pay whatever it is, even though they rob me. I don't care. I have the money. It's power. For a woman, it might be security. I don't want the landlord to come and ask me about the rent, so I will go to therefore save money so that I could pay the rent. For some of us guys, we don't care about rent. When we had a hurricane sometime, people now going and stock up for grocery and so on. And I went in there and I saw some guys coming out with trolleys. Only alcohol filling the trolleys. And I said, have you heard that a storm is coming? They said, that's why we filling up, Mr. Stewart. The belief system when it comes to money. The way your clients explain money to themselves, that is what emotional intelligence is. The risk-averse investor is part of your client. Those who throw caution to the wind is another opposite side of the spectrum. So what drives financial decisions? How much cash you have at your disposal. That is what makes you make decisions. Because when your client had one set of salary, they lived in one set of standards. As their money increased, got back pay, whatever it is,